Kessler. I'm the creative director and one of the founders of Velocity Partners. We're a B2B technology content marketing agency here in London. Right. So if you're trying to get tone of voice on the marketing agenda and get some senior people to care about it, I think the best thing to do is look at brands with great voices and look how much better they do than brands that don't have a great tone of voice. And a lot of people say, oh, it's fine for Nike. Nike can talk like that. They're Nike. But they got to be Nike by having this wonderful, wonderful voice in their brand. So I think if people are fighting you on that internally, you got to wonder what kind of marketers are these. You got to know that tone of voice should be hugely important. And I think most would agree it's important, but a lot of people think it just happens by chance. And so I think to get it on the agenda of senior marketers, you need to show that that does not happen by chance. Great tone of voice happens by active management. Most famous, great, successful brands are that way because they have a great voice. I like looking at Jack Daniel's because it's such a distinctive voice, that Tennessee, laconic, laid-back thing that you see everywhere in their voice without beating it to death. They're really good at it. B2B, you see it less, great B2B brands. HubSpot, I think, is a really good one. MailChimp, fantastic for tone of voice. Luxury brands in the consumer market tend to be very careful about their voice and control it incredibly carefully in a way because most of their product is their voice. So, you'll find a lot of interesting tone of voice examples there. One of my favorites in the consumer world is Innocent Drinks, who I think really built the entire brand on this wonderful, silly, warm and human tone of voice. A tone of voice, it's not so much how should we talk, it's who are we. It's who are we as a brand? What do we want to be? Who do we want to be? And if you can answer those questions clearly, tone of voice is actually quite natural. It comes out of that. Everyone knows it. You're hiring people who are like that. You talk like that internally. Often brands with great tones of voice, you'll see their internal communications are on brand too. And that's because they hire people like that. So that's a big part of it. If you think your tone of voice is wrong, chances are it's because it's too bland and neutral and corporate. It's unlikely that somebody chose a tone of voice that was really distinctive and compelling, and now you want to do a 180 and change it. That may happen, but more often people say, why are we so boring? And we see many companies who, they're really passionate people. They're smart people, they're passionate people, but their marketing, doesn't capture that at all. And you wonder what's going on. And so to change from bland corporate speak to great human speak, I think, how do you get there? You go ahead and change. Cold turkey, I would do it overnight. I would just say, we're not talking like that anymore. We're talking like this. So for me, I wouldn't worry about slowly evolving to a new tone of voice. I'd pretty much go for it. A lot of companies, a lot of brands and marketers struggle with getting content marketing, a lot of brands struggle with getting tone of voice right. I think because we're all raised in marketing. We know what marketing sounds like. And I think a lot of marketers, their first instinct is to do marketing that sounds like marketing. And that's a big mistake. Another one is people learn about their category by looking around, look at their market. How do people talk in this market? And they try to mimic that, to be in the market. And what we like to do is help clients jump out of their market, stand out of that pack. So I think a lot get it wrong because they're converging into the mean. They're converging into the middle of that bell curve, and all they're doing is becoming one of the market participants, not the standout. Yeah, it's a buzzy show. Walking around TFM&A has been pretty exciting, and you can see the change in the market. One is the rise of technology, the rise of marketing operations, right? So we're seeing a lot more talk about how to nurture leads, how to lead people through the purchase journey and get them to do what you want them to do. So, we're seeing a lot of pretty exciting technologies coming on. So tech is going to grow and grow and grow in marketing for sure. Being a content marketer, I'll always say that content marketing will grow in importance. It might sound like that's hard to do when it's so hyped already, but actually I think everyone's in the foothills of content marketing right now. There's a long way to go. So I think there's a whole world of content marketing that's coming that we haven't seen too. Skill sets in marketing teams are changing a lot, need to change. The biggest obstacle for me to most excited, interesting marketers, you look here, they're pretty young, a lot of them. I can say this because I'm 53, but their biggest obstacle is their boss. The senior marketers who got senior by doing it the old way, the traditional way, so they know it works because it worked for them. They're the obstacle, and I think as they age out of the workforce or learn and get back on the learning curve with everybody else, that's going to be the big problem. So I think that the marketers who get it need the senior marketers to get out of their way. Yeah. The role of head of marketing will change a lot in the next 5 years. A big part of it will be related to data and the tech and the plumbing that we see here. So heads of marketing will have to understand data way better than they do now. But I also think in parallel to that, story will grow and grow and grow. And people will realize the best brands tell the best stories, have the best voice. And so I think that the most senior marketers will also be really good at that too.